Okay. Hi guys. Let me adjust the table. Can you guys hear me? Okay, welcome to another session on Vantage Strategy Clinic. Today we'll be talking about some strategies on how we forecast and discuss our trading techniques on certain pairs. Let us give the audience a couple more minutes to come in before I start the session. Okay. Hi Zoran, hi Francis. Welcome. Let us give the rest of the audience a couple more minutes before I start the session. Hi. Let me know where you guys are tuning in from. Okay. It's about 5 p.m. now in Singapore. Oh, from Qatar. 11 a.m. or 11 p.m.? I see. Oops, sorry. Okay. So if you guys have any requests on which currency pair you want me or my co-host Jianing later to share, let us know. Right? Okay, so without further ado, maybe I should start the session. Okay. So welcome to our Thursday weekly forecast as we talk about the key news and events or what to expect for the week ahead, along with our technical setups, right? We'll be highlighting some key news events, some central bank notes and key support and resistance levels to watch out for. So this webinar is brought to you by Everest Fortune Group in collaboration with Vantage Markets. So what we do here is we are an award-winning research firm and finalist in 2019, 2020, 2021 for best FX and equity research. So we work very closely with major financial institutions to help them forecast where the markets are heading. And now we have a special partnership with Vantage Markets where we bring you guys the good stuff every day. So today, myself, Annabelle, and later on the second half of the session will be continued by my co-host Jianing, right? Okay, so before we start, some disclaimer as usual. So this webinar is purely educational and nothing in this webinar should be construed as investment or trading advice. So guys, please do your due diligence before you start trading. Right, so introducing our analysts, my picture is not up there, right? But it should be up there the next couple of weeks, right? So we have Desmond, the chief trader, we have Cassandra, we have Jean, Jianing later on, you'll see her on the second half of the session. And Joanne, you should be quite familiar with him. So Jean and Joanne will be hosting most of the Vantage session with you guys. Right? All right, so let's start. Let me know if you guys have any requests for any currency pairs. If not, I will just use what I have done this morning. Okay, maybe we should start with okay, let's start with DXY. Okay, let me clear the charts. Okay, so currently, as you guys know, there will be a major news tomorrow, right? So this is the page, Forex Factory is where I come in to see whether there are any important fundamental news or announcements that is going to happen before I decide on any trade, right? Because you wouldn't want to take a trade when there is like a non-farm payroll or when there's a a Powell speech, like last week, right? Last week we have the Jackson Hole speech by Powell. So the market moved quite a bit, and it's quite risky to take any trade. So usually I'll sit on the fence. Not taking any trade is also a good trade, right? So for tomorrow we have non-farm payroll. So if you guys do not know what it is, for this page itself, it actually tells you what news is going to come out at what time and what they are forecast, what they forecast it will be, right? So for non-farm payroll rise, if you guys do not know what it is, you can come here, click on the file itself, and they will tell you exactly what it is, right? So it's a vital economic data released shortly after the month ends, and it's a combination of importance and alignments mixed for hefty market impacts. So it's about job creation, right? So as you can see here, the forecast we have for the non-farm employment change is 295K. This is a forecasted, but as you can see, the actual results that actually come out usually beats the forecast. So we are quite optimistic that the actual result is going to be beating the forecast. So actual greater than forecast is good for currency, meaning to say actually USD might strengthen when the news come out. So DXY is somewhat equivalent, I would say, to your USD, right? So from this chart, you can see that the USD has been strengthening for the past few weeks. Okay, let's draw some trends. Okay, you can see here that the trend, the bullish trend is still very, very strong, right? On the daily chart. What I can see here is I can do some projections forward. Okay. Projections forward. Okay, then we zoom into the 4-hourly. If you guys have any question, please feel free to ask, because I have another page that is open just to see whatever questions that you have, right? You guys can see my trading chart, right? Let me know in the comments, because I don't want to be sharing a wrong page. Okay. Right. Okay. So what I have drawn here is a projection forward. If Francis asked, what's the indicator that you use? So I have just used a Fibonacci projection, or some people might call it a Fibonacci retracement. Both terms are the same. So projection is projecting how far it will go forward. So given if USD actually is going to strengthen, let me draw my support resistance. Let me draw some support and resistance level for you guys. So this will be my first resistance, which is currently very close to, and it has previously tested it. And then my second resistance would be placed here, where my projection is. Okay, alternatively, okay, we'll move on to the, let me move on to the support level first before I zoom into to define it further, right? To draw other supporting indicators. Okay, so this will be my second resistance. Support level wise, I think this is quite a strong support here. Some people might think that it's too near, but if it's too near, you can use it as an intermediate support, or else I'll use it as a support itself. Support first. And then my second support, let's see. Okay, some people might put your first support here or put your first support here, right? Because it has came back, it has tested many times here as well at this zone 1, 2, 3, where this green, okay. So depending on how far your risk reward ratio is, depending on how far you are willing to take your risk, then you can adjust accordingly. That's where my first support is. Let me see whether it coincides with. Yeah, it kind of coincides. 78.6. Okay. 38.2. Okay, so what we can see here is an area where it might be a confluence zone here. So I will put my support there. Okay, so this is my first support. Resistance wise, let's see whether there is any Nike tick. So if you guys are familiar, the Nike tick is the 127 level of the Fibonacci extension, right? So let's see whether we have any here. Okay, it's a bit far. Okay, so I tried to do a Fibonacci extension from here to here towards the 127 level, but it seems like it's slightly further, so I don't think this is useful, right? So what I have done here is I have forecasted if, let's say, USD were to strengthen, my DXY will go up to test this level here before any major resistance around here, okay? So if tomorrow the news were to come out and it breaks the first resistance, it will come here to test the 110 levels. Let's see whether there is any swing highs that we can compare it to. Okay, no, see, this is way back in 2003, but it should be relevant. Okay, yeah. So the highest point previously in 03 was 109.832. It might come to this level to test, which is also our 100% projection levels right here on my second resistance before a reversal will happen. So if, let's say, prices don't break and USD is going to weaken, we would see it bounce off here to come back to test the first support level, which is our 38.2% retracement and 78.6% projection right from here. Okay, so this is my analysis for DXY. Okay, actually it's kind of still within the channel. Let's see whether there's any channels. Okay, it is not the greatest channel, but let's see on the daily chart. Is there any? Okay, I would still consider this a channel itself, right? It's still moving within the channel. So if USD were to weaken, I'm forecasting that it will drop towards this level and then test the lower part of the channel itself, right? It's still in a bullish trend. Yeah, so it might come down here, touch and rebound. Okay, depending on the news tomorrow. Okay, so let me highlight as well for those folders in red, the impact in red, it means that the news is extremely important. So yeah, tomorrow's news is important. Okay, let us move to maybe USD JPY. If you guys have any requests, let me know in the comment section, right? Okay, right. USD JPY is also at its all-time high for the past months, weeks, for the longest time. Okay, it looks like it's at the peak right now. But given the correlation between USD and this USD pair, because USD is strengthening, that's why we can see that it's still moving upwards. Let us draw some trends. Okay, it's still in a very bullish momentum. Let me do a projection. Okay, projection, Fibonacci projection. Okay, it's kind of testing the this level. Yeah. Okay. Zoom into the 4 hours. It has broken the 68. Okay, might test the 78.6. So my resistance level, I think I would put it here. Okay, my resistance level would be there because it has clearly broken my 61.8 projection here. Okay, let's see whether we have any nice setups. Okay, clearly broken the 161.8%. Maybe we can take a look at this level here to see whether it coincides with any of my projection. Okay, no. So projecting forward, I think this will be the most relevant because prices seem to be still moving upwards. So I will put my first resistance at that level. Key support area would be here. Okay. And then this will be my first support. Okay. Let's see whether it's okay. I'll put it at this zone here. Right. You can see that it has tested here, here, and this zone. So I'll put this red box here. This area here. This will be my support. Okay. So if USD were to strengthen as like I said just now, like I've mentioned, again tomorrow, I will foresee that it will come to my first resistance at 149.42. Okay. Let's see whether there is any previous swing highs that we can compare it to. Okay, the previous swing high is 147. It's quite far away, right? It has clearly broken the 135 levels. So, okay. Likely it will, if let's say USD were to strengthen, likely it will go to the 140 levels, okay, before any resistance happens here. So if there is any pullback at this level, I'm looking for it to actually intermediate resistance, I'll put it here, because from this level, 140.942, to go back to my first support is actually pretty far. So my intermediate resistance, I clearly will put it here, right? Because it has tested here many times but failed to break. So this will be my intermediate resistance. Here. Support, intermediate support, sorry. Here. Okay. Before it actually breaks here and come back to test the first support. Okay, so this is the analysis. We can define it further by looking at whether that is our retracement levels. So you can see here is at my 23.6 and 50% levels at these two levels. So I can confirm again that if it rebounds here at my first resistance, it will come back to my intermediate resistance at 138 levels. And if it breaks and the bearish momentum continues, it will come to my first support level at 135.622, right, which is my 50% retracement. Okay. Okay, let's move on to, maybe we change to something else. Okay, let me read some of the comments. So Francis asks, please, what time frame do you request us to trade and what channel do you use? What do you mean, what channel do I use? Okay, so for time frame wise, different individuals trade differently. So for scalpers, maybe they will use 1 hour, 1 hour, 30 minutes, or even 5 minutes, right? Because they want the markets to move as volatile and as fast as possible to catch the waves. But personally, I do use the 4 hour and 1 hour chart. So my advice would be anytime from 1 hour onwards will be good, because the longer or the bigger the time frame, the less noise it is, right? Because if you zoom into 50 minutes, there is a lot of movement which you are going to catch. So for scalpers wise, they like this because it make it seem like the market is moving every second. But if you zoom into the 1 hour, every candle is 4 moves of your 50 minutes, right? So I prefer not to stare at the charts. That's why I go to higher time frames, and it's cleaner in a sense that your trend lines, your trend lines, your channels, your analysis might be stronger here, right? Okay, let's move on to GBP USD. Oh, it's very weird. Okay, let me remove my drawings. So what I can see here is I would just highlight this level because this was the previous low, right? This was the previous low, so I'll put it here as my support because there's no other comparison. And then on the daily time frame, you can see that it is moving in a very nice downward trend, right? There might even be a channel. Let's see. Okay, I'll move this to make it cleaner. Okay, so downward channel. So you can see here, okay, prices are moving very nicely in a downward manner. Let's see whether there is any, can probably do a projection. And this is, sorry, this retracement. Okay, so this, let me zoom into the 4 hour. So can see that prices are clearly moving in a very smooth downward trend, right? You can see that there's a double top here before breaking all the other levels and before breaking the previous low. So where I'll put my support level, I will put it here. Prices are now testing the 1.159 levels. So my support, I think I'll put my resistance, I'll put it here. That will be my first resistance. As you can see that it's also my previous swing low and my overlapping resistance. So prices have came to test many times here, broke it, test again, then come back down. So that will be my first resistance. Okay, support wise, it might be a bit far, but that I can't do, let me see whether I can do any projections. Oh, it's beyond. It has also broken beyond my 100%. So the next support level would actually be at the 1142, right? So what happened here is our forecast is that GBP USD will continue to drop, right? Given that for the past few hours it's still in the reds, and this is the next level, key level that it might come to test, right? So this is the next support level that it might come down to. Okay, let's draw some Fibonacci retracement to see whether there is any confluence zone. Okay, you can see that it's okay. If it actually bounce here, it might come back to the first resistance, which is my 23.6% retracement. Let's see whether there's any good Nike tick setups. Okay, it will be if price were to go down further to my first support, it's also my 161.8% extension right here, right? So if price were to go down still in a smooth manner and supporting my descending trend, let's see whether the Ichimoku cloud. Yeah, so it's still below, the prices are still testing below the Ichimoku cloud within my descending trend line. Hence, if price were to drop, it might come here to test, which aligns with the channel itself, the bottom part of the channel. So if prices were to come down, here, it will test this level before any resistance or rebound happen. Wait, let me change the color. Right? Before any resistance or rebound happen here, to go back to my first resistance. Okay, Francis, let me read the comments. Please, why do you use the Fibonacci retracement 2 times? Okay, for Fibonacci retracements, it's depending on where and what you're looking for, because it can be drawn from many angles. So for projection wise, usually we are projecting forward to where our prices might go next. In this manner, I did the Fibonacci retracement line here because I want to see how far this line here goes. Let me draw. Let me get a brush. So my Fibonacci retracement is here, right? I drew the line here, meaning to say I want to know how far it actually retraces at this area here. So it could potentially retrace 23.6%. It could retrace, sorry, that's not 23, 23.6%, 100%. This is 100% retracement, right? Because it's the same level. 127 and 161. So I'm technically projecting forward to see how far it might go, right? When I draw here. And then the other part is when, if let's say, I want to know how far it might come up this way. So I draw my line here and I'm projecting it might come here, which is my 23.6%. I might go further, 50%, or here, 100%. So it's really depending on what you're looking for, which side, or how many percent projecting forward you're looking at. So drawing this means you're looking at this area. Drawing here means you're looking at this area. Okay, I hope that clarifies. Okay, I can clear my drawings. Okay. Okay, last, maybe I will do a Euro USD. Okay, so from this area, I can see that for Euro USD is not that clear because it's still ranging. It seems like it's ranging in this zone here. Right, that's why I have drawn the resistance and the support level. So my forecast for this currency pair is that everyone is kind of waiting for tomorrow's news to see whether prices of USD might go up or come down, right? So it's ranging until tomorrow. So if there is a breakout here, we still have to wait for it to break this channel here before we know that it's in a bullish momentum, right? Right? It still has to break this zone here, which is a channel, before we know that it's a bullish momentum. And right here, it has to break this level here before we know it's bearish. So for Euro USD, I'll stay on the neutral position because prices are ranging. Okay. Now I'll pass on the session to Xianing to continue. She'll let you know about other currency pairs as well as oil. Okay.
Hi guys, I'm Jianing. Very happy to see you guys here. So do you have any detailed pairs to let me share? Do you have any detailed pairs of the commodity like gold and oil? So I can do that for you guys. Okay, so now maybe we can have a look at the gold. So if you have any questions, please let me know. Okay, so now I have a look at the gold. So we start from the daily charts. If you have a look at the daily chart, you can see there is a very clear descending trend line. And we also use the Ichimoku clock to help us identify the trend. And then we go back to the 4-hour chart. Okay, so we have a look up the 4-hour chart. You can see the price is still under the Ichimoku cloud, and then we can have a look of the, because the price is dropping, right? So we have a look up our support line. Give me a moment. Okay, I think the first support line, I like to put it here at around 1,700, and then we can see the price almost touch this line, and it's bounce up from this line. But if I think this is if the price can break this line, the next support level could be a very key support level at around 1,680. Here is our swing low, very significant swing low. But actually here is still a gap from the first support line and the second support line. So I think the price can only touch the second support line after it breaks this first support line. But if the price pull back from the first support line, I think the next key resistance level could be at here. At around 1,700 and 1,720. Okay, I'll put it here as our first resistance level, because you can see here is a swing low, and here is a not very significant, but here could be a small swing high. So here could be an overlap resistance. And now we try to use some Fibonacci tools to help us confirm our idea about the resistance level and support level. Okay, so we go to the Fibonacci retracement. And I think here could be a 23.6 Fibonacci retracement. Here is very close to our first resistance level, but because here for the support line here is already at our swing low, so we don't use the Fibonacci tools to confirm the idea. Okay, so here is the analysis for the gold, and then we can have a look at the. Do you have any desired pairs? Because we just have 3 people, right? So any questions, please feel free to let me know, and so that I can help you guess better. Okay. Okay, then we have a look of the gold. If you follow the price of gold, we have a look of the daily chart. You can see for like from the June, the price staying descending trend line. And if we draw a trend line here, we can see here is few days ago, early this week, the price has a breakout of the long-term descending trend, but now the price moved back to the descending trend. Okay, and then we have a look at the Ichimoku cloud. I think the price still under the Ichimoku cloud. And then we go back to the 4-hour chart. Okay, you can see after a very long-term drop, the price of oil have a short-term pullback from here to here. Okay, but now the price, I think from yesterday, the price break out the short-term ascending trend, so it's now go back and also it's break the Ichimoku cloud as well. So I just delete this ascending trend line. Okay, I leave it here. So firstly, the price break the short-term ascending trend line, and secondly, the price now is under the long-term descending trend line, and thirdly, the price break the Ichimoku cloud, and fourthly, I think if you follow the price, you may notice here is overlap. Here is our previous swing low here. So for the 4 indicators, we can confirm, help us to confirm that the price now is in the descending trend and is made good job recently. before it jump, I think we can draw a support line here, and you can see the price bonus up from this support level. So I think if the price continue to pull back for the next resistance level could be our previous support level at around 96.399. But if the price break this support level, I think the next very key support level could be at around here. Is around 93 and is also our long-term swing low. So if I zoom out, you can see here is our like 2 months swing low here at around 93. So I think this area should be valued for our consideration. I just highlight it for you guys here. Okay. Okay. Okay, have a look. Okay, and then we go for another pair. So do you guys have any desired pairs I can share with you? Don't be shy, guys. We just have a few people. Don't be shy. Okay, so now we move on to another pair. I think we can have a look at the USD CAD. So we still okay. I saw your request, but maybe we continue. Okay, we do the USD CAD first, and then we go back to your request pair. Okay. We can have a look at the USD CAD. So from recently, the price is still within the ascending trend line. If you zoom it a bit, yes, you can see the price USD CAD. Okay, the price is going within the ascending trend, and so we go back to the 4-hour chart. If you zoom out a bit, you can see as here could be our previous recent level, but now the price has already break it, so it's now turned to the support level. So I think the price break this support level and is pulled back to test the support level again. So from my perspective, I think the price may pull back from our support level and then raise to our next resistance level at around our swing high at around 1.32269. Okay, and I turn it into our first resistance, and here is our first support. But if the price break this previous support level, I think the next support level could be at around here, because here is our small swing high, and then we can use the Fibonacci tools to help us confirm this level. And we use the Fibonacci retracement. Okay, I think here is a small gap, but never mind. Just help you to have an idea about where is the potential retracement level is, and then we can use. Okay, I think we can use another Fibonacci projection. No, Fibonacci, we can try to use the Fibonacci extension to have a look. Maybe it doesn't work or maybe it works. We have a look. Okay, you can see the 161.8 Fibonacci extension has already broken, so I think that it may go up in the future. So we just delete it. Okay, this is my analysis for the USD CAD. And then we go for your detailed pairs. The first one is Euro Swiss franc. Okay, so if you have a 4-hour chart, it's like the price after a long-term descending trend is now pulled back, and the price now is above the Ichimoku cloud. So probably maybe we can draw a descending trend line, ascending trend line. It's a very steep ascending trend line. Okay, for our short-term trend line, we can see the price has already broken this ascending trend line, but now it's still above the Ichimoku cloud. So we now try to let me have a look. Zoom it a bit. Okay, if we draw a resistance line here. Okay. So you can see here the price has already broken the long-term short-term ascending trend line. So I think the price is just because of it already touches the first recent level. So the price, the market is just doing a little bit adjustment. So now the price is pulled back a bit. So for the next support level, I think we can draw it here. Because here is a level that price tested for a lot of times before, right here and here, the swing low and swing high here. And then we can also use the Fibonacci to help us confirm our idea. Just leave a little bit. So sometimes I think sometimes the start point or the ending point for the Fibonacci has a little bit confused for you guys. Maybe sometimes we put it here and sometimes we put it here, right? But basic rule is your Fibonacci line should be in line with the trend. There cannot be a lot of gaps like here. If you draw the Fibonacci here, you can see a lot of gaps, right? So it's not a very efficient Fibonacci level. So we recommend it to firstly it as a swing low and swing high, and secondly it should in line with the current trend. There could not be a lot of gap. Okay, so you can see here is a 23.6 Fibonacci retracement. Here is a very perfect overlap of our first support line. Okay, so I think if the price pull back a bit here could be our first support line. And if the price, because we can see the price is still testing for our ascending support. So if the price cannot break it very successfully, it may go back to the ascending trend, and the next resistance level could be our previous swing high at around 0.9877337. Okay, and then we go for another pair. It's a Euro pound. We have a look at the daily chart first. As you can see, as the Euro USD really suffered from a long-term drop, right? But now the price seems to have a little bit pullback. And then we go back to the 4-hour chart. Firstly, we can draw a long-term descending trend line, and we can see the price has already broken this ascending trend line, descending trend line, sorry. And then we can try to draw a short-term this ascending trend line. Yes, you can see here. The price now is going within a very short-term ascending trend line, and now also the price is trying to break the Ichimoku cloud. And then maybe we can try to use other indicators to have a look. Firstly, maybe I will try for the MACD. Okay, you can see the signal line is trying to break the diff line and our bars are above the zero. So maybe here could be a signal that the price may going within pullback to ascending trend line. But maybe I think now the price or the market trend is not very clear. So maybe I think we can wait for a while. So because the price is still within a ranging area. So I think now the market trend is not very clear. Okay. And okay, we just close the MACD and we have a look of if the price, because the ascending trend line is a very strong support line, right? So for our current candle is a right one. So the price is a potential dropping. This potential dropping maybe so for the next support line here could be our nice support line. So sometimes if you think the market trend is not very clear, so maybe you can use more indicators, or if you think for example, if you think the price may drop recently, maybe you can wait for a double breakout. For example, if the price can break out this ascending trend line. Secondly, if the price can break out this support line, here could be a more clear or stronger descending trend. Okay, so here could be our first descending, first support line, and maybe you can use the Fibonacci to help us confirm the idea. Here could be our 50% Fibonacci retracement. Here is in line with our first support line. But if the price cannot break this, firstly, if the price cannot break this ascending trend line, still go within the ascending trend line. I think the next resistance level could be at here. I just move it here. Here is our previous highest price, and here could be our first resistance level. And then if we use the Fibonacci to have a look, here's our swing high and here is our swing low. I think maybe, okay, you can see the 38.2 Fibonacci retracement is very perfectly in line with our first resistance. So if the price jump from here to here, and it will go for a retracement. Because I think the 23.6 has already broken. Here. You can see here is already broken. So the next potential retracement level could be the 38.2. Okay, so here is our first resistance. Here is our first support. I think the price may potentially moving at this area. Okay, and now because we have an okay, and then we still have like nearly 10 minutes, so we can still cover for some pair. Okay, do you have any desired pairs? Okay, maybe we can have a look at the I'm not sure. Maybe we can have a look at the DXY. Okay. Okay. So before we do the analysis, we can have a look at the fundamental news for the Aussie. I think there are two indicators we can pay attention to. Okay, the first one is the first one is already out today. The first one is the private capital in expenditure, which is lower than the forecast and the previous. And another one is the commodity price. For the commodity price, I think this indicator is quite strong because it's like twice of the previous one. because Australia's economics is relies on the commodity it's really rely on the commodity, right? And commodity really takes a very important part for the export of the Australia. So this indicator really do good for the Australia dollar. And another one is, I think I saw another one. Let me have a look. Commodity and export. Okay, I think just maybe just these two. Okay, this and we have another one here is the manufacturing index, which is lower than the previous. So you can see the indicator today is a little bit messy because some of them are better than the expectation and some are lower than the expectation. But I think for this one, commodity price is really wants us to have a look to pay attention to. So you can see after dropping, here could be our previous support level, and now the combined with the fundamental news, the price has a little pullback. Because here, if you go back, here is our overlap support level before, but now it's still our overlap support, right? Okay. Here's a swing high, here is a swing low, and here is also the swing low. So here could be a very strong support line need us to pay attention to. Okay, so the price may pull back from here if the so the next resistance level, I think we can draw it like here. Here is also a small swing low, and here is a small swing high. So here could be our first resistance level. The price may pull back to here. However, if the price can go back to this support level again, because for the long-term trend is still a descending trend and the price and the Ichimoku cloud. So I think the next support level could be at here, because the price really touches this area for a lot of times. Okay, so here could be our second support. Okay, and then we have a quick look of the Japanese yen, because we have another webinar later. Okay, we can have a look. The price is moving above the Ichimoku cloud. Here is a little breakout, but the price still above the Ichimoku cloud. So I think if the price drop and try to break the Ichimoku cloud, the next support level could be at here. If you go back, here is also a good overlap. So here could be our strong support level. And then if the price go back to the ascending trend, I think the next resistance level could be at here. Because here is our previous swing high, and here is our last highest price. So here could be our resistance level. Here could be our support level. Okay, because we have another webinar later, so I just end our webinar today. So very happy to meet all you guys here, and have a good day. Bye-bye. How to